But this time, according to the Interior Ministry, Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, despite raging inflation and unemployment in the country, got 63% of the vote to allegedly 33% for Mir Hussein Musavi. There's a lot of weird things that happen on Friday and Saturday. For one, Ahmadinejad allegedly won 50% of the vote in Tehran. He's not popular in the cities. He's not popular in the cities at all. His base is in the countryside, among the poor, rural voters, not city voters, especially not in Tehran. But he allegedly won 50% of the vote in Tehran. Interesting, to say the least. He supposedly won 5,000 out of 7,000 votes in a city called Tabriz. Musavi was born in Tabriz. It would be like John McCain winning Chicago in the last election, or Obama winning 90% of the vote in Arizona. That just doesn't happen, and it especially doesn't happen in Iranian politics. It's very locally based. You vote for the hometown kid. Even if that guy's going to, get 5% of the vote in the presidential election, you're going to vote for him because, hey, he's a hometown kid. But not this time, apparently. Not this time, apparently. Nope. 5,000 out of 7,000 for Mahmoud. Not terribly likely. Another weird thing. In the town of Lali, 830 out of 900 votes go to Ahmadinejad. That's interesting because there was another presidential candidate. There are actually 4 in this race. And one of them is from Lali. The conservative guy, the other conservative guy, Rezai, who used to be head of the Revolutionary Guards. He's pretty far to the right side of the spectrum. And yet, he only got like 40 votes in his hometown. And Ahmadinejad got 830. Not terribly likely. In fact, impossible. Period. What would we have said if Obama won 90% of Arizona or McCain won 90% of Chicago? People would say, what the hell is that about? That just doesn't make any sense. That feels rigged. Then in Al-Gordaz, the hometown of the other reformist moderate candidate, a man named Karoubi, a man who actually ran in the 2005 election, Ahmadinejad got 40,000 votes and Karoubi got 14,000. Again, in his hometown. Moreover, if you look at the breakdown across the entire country, it doesn't really change. Like every province, every precinct basically has Musavi getting between like 33 and 45% of the vote, and Ahmadinejad getting between like 50 and 75%. It's very, very strange. And past Iranian elections have been very diverse across different parts of the country because it's a very localized voting pattern. Not the case here. Very, very, very strange. The series of events on Friday and Saturday also smack of a conspiracy, smack of vote rigging, smack of a coup from the inside. Sometime late in the afternoon on Friday, Iran time, Musavi was informed by the Ministry of the Interior that he'd won the election. He called a press conference and announced that he won the election. Not long thereafter, text messaging goes down, cell phones go down, Facebook goes down. The internet is still basically off in Iran. Connection speeds are reported at 1 kilobyte per second. Yeah. That's like slower than the 80s with a phone modem. Cell phones went down for quite a long time. They seem to be back up. Interestingly, Twitter never got shut down. That's how I've been following a lot of events. There's a lot of these kids who are in Tehran, who are in Iran, who are Twittering. And I've always said Twitter is the most ridiculously stupid thing on the planet when Ashton Kutcher uses it. But Jesus Christ, it's been really helpful here. Around midnight or so, and throughout the entirety of the night and into the next night, there's video in Tehran and other cities of people going up onto the rooftops and shouting, "God is great, Allah Akbar," and, even better, Marga Dictator, death to the dictator. These are the two slogans from 1979. These are the two things that you would hear incessantly in 1979 as the revolution is happening against the Shah. It hasn't been heard since then, and this is happening right now. According to Iranian election law, after the election happens, there's supposed to be a 3-day period in which the election commission does its thing. After all, it's all paper ballots, so they got to count them by hand. There's no machine counting. There's no computer ballots. It's all by hand. 40 million votes. So they've got a 3-day period, after which the supreme leader is supposed to get the results, and then he certifies it. Didn't happen that way this time. Within less than 24 hours of the polls closing, Khamenei had come out and said, "This is a divine blessing. This election is certified." Very out of order, very, very unusual. On Sunday, foreign media's offices, NBC, ABC, BBC, were raided. Their cameras were taken, computers were taken, some media members were arrested. It's a coup. It's an internal coup. And that's the only way you can look at what's happened here. On Mousavi's website, they claim to have the actual numbers for the election. 57, 28, 7, and 6. Now, this is, of course, from Mousavi's website. So take it for what it's worth. But those numbers make a lot more sense than 63-33. Because the 63-33 number gives only a few 100,000 votes to the third and the fourth candidates, who were polling much better than that. Karoubi is a longtime politician, a reformer, moderately popular. He won 17% of the vote in 2005. But this time he allegedly won like 0.5%. Again, very strange. Rezai, former head of the Revolutionary Guards, about as far to the right as you could possibly get, allegedly only got something like 700,000 votes. But he was polling better than that. And of course he completely lost his hometown to Ahmadinejad. So there's a lot of confusion right now. I'm not entirely sure how it's going to end up. The latest development is the Supreme Leader Khamenei announced that there would be an investigation by the Guardian Council into Mousavi's allegations that this was rigged, that this was fraudulent. The Guardian Council is kind of like the College of Cardinals to the Pope. The Guardian Council elects the Supreme Leader. The Guardian Council also, under certain circumstances, through the Assembly of Experts, can remove the Supreme Leader from his office. Now, that has never happened, obviously, and is not going to happen here. But I don't know what's going to happen next. Right now, supposedly, there is a massive rally for Mousavi at Azadi Square, means Freedom Square, in Tehran. The site is a memorial site for the revolution from 1979, and I guess follow this story closely. What we're going to see here is a series of clips I pulled off of YouTube that a lot of it's pretty raw, but it's what's happening here on the ground in Iran. First, we got a BBC report. BBC report that's basically being filmed with what looks like a cell phone camera because the BBC reporter's camera and equipment was confiscated. So bear with the quality.
Fires were burning. In a normal way, this kind of thing would be completely unthinkable. The Islamic Republic keeps such a tight grip on any kind of dissent that people simply don't dare to come out like this. Now the tactics change. People were jamming the streets with their cars, a safer way of demonstrating than they'd used earlier. There was no planning about it, and no call to come out and demonstrate. People just gravitated to the squares and avenues near the